Our first guest, Bernadine Kirby. How's it going?
Good.
How are you?
Nice
to see you.
Nice to see you.
Now, Bernadine, you're one of the sponsors of the Buzz, so I want to thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Now, you do insurance, and this is a very important time for you.
It is. I do Medicare insurance right now. We're in open enrollment from October 15th through December 7th. And that's when it gives everybody that's 65 and over or on Medicare a time to switch all of their medical plans. So really this 6 weeks is really important for everybody to make any changes, because once it's over, you don't get to change until the next open enrollment.
Well, okay, so wait a minute now. So because they're 65, they're eligible for Medicare.
Correct.
But up until now, they had a different insurance.
Right.
And you're here to help facilitate the change.
Right. And I get this question all the time because everybody's really confused about Obamacare.
About what you do. What do you do?
Obamacare is for 65 and under. It does not touch 65 and over for Medicare, because Obama's thinking if you're 65, you already have insurance.
Right.
But I get questions all the time from my clients saying, when's Obamacare going to, because it's kind of been confusing for everybody.
But do you get a phone with the Medicare? Because with the Obamacare, you get a phone.
No, you do not get a phone.
Have you seen the phones? They're really
I haven't
big.
seen them. No, you do not get a phone.
Yeah, okay.
So,
okay.
But
So Medicare, you're 65 years old, and it's time to change. Is it free?
No, Medicare is not free. Your Part A, which is your hospitalization, most of the time you get that for free. But if you make a lot of money, they will ding you for that. Your Part B, which is everything outside of your hospital, your doctors, your lab work, this year I think it's $110 a month. So yeah.
And it doesn't sound like a lot until you're 65
Right.
and you don't have a lot of money coming in.
Right, and that only covers your 80%. When you get your Medicare, which is something I learned when I was when I had to do all this for my mother, I just thought when you got Medicare you were covered.
Right.
Well,
It was automatic.
You're automatic, but
Right.
you're only covered 80% outside of the hospital, so you're responsible for 20%. And people don't realize that when they're on Medicare, and then something happens and they get a $35,000 bill. Well, that's your responsibility, that 20%. So
35,000 is a lot of money, but there's some people that. $35 is a lot of money.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
At the Walgreens last night, picking up the prescriptions for my wife, the lady in front of me has to count her money inside of her wallet to see which prescriptions she can afford and which one she has to leave there and come back later to get.
Right. I'd say in the past 2 years, the drugs have become a bigger issue than the medical, because the drugs have shot up in price.
They used to be cheap.
Right, and they're not anymore. And some of these drugs people are taking are $800 a month if they had to pay for it on their own. And I have people, and they give me a list of drugs, and the first thing I say is, does your doctor honestly know that you're on, 35 drugs? Oh, I went here and I went there.
Oh, there's probably 3 or 4 different doctors involved.
And it's something they're trying to prevent from happening.
So the insurance that that the 64-year-olds are probably paying more than the 110, right?
Correct.
And they're not 100%. They're still got the 80 or 20 or whatever left over, right?
Well, if you're over 65, Medicare is only for 65 and over. If you're under 65,
whatever plan you have.
Whatever plan you have. My husband and I pay $1,200 a month for our medical.
Is there a condition that you have that requires a lot of?
No.
Is there medications that are?
No, that's just the.
This is just real insurance. Like you're betting them that you're not. You're going to use it, and they're betting you that you're not.
Correct. And for between the ages, I'd say like 55 and 64, because you're getting up there, your premiums just go sky high. So it's really hard to get insurance if you're in kind of that age group where you're not paying a lot of money for it, unless you qualify for Obamacare.
Okay. Well, so what is your suggestion to people that are 64, 65 right now?
If they're 65, they should go. You can apply for your Medicare about 3 months before your 65th birthday. So you should go to your Social Security office, go ahead and get your Medicare A and B so that you're eligible, you have everything done, because it takes them a long time. They're not the fastest.
How long does it take?
It takes about 6 to 8 weeks, once you start the process. So you want to make sure that all of that is done before you turn 65 so that you have everything in order. And what I do is I do the 20%. I do the Medicare insurance outside of Medicare. Your supplemental, your Medicare Advantage, if you have Medicare, Medi-Cal, there's a program for that also. So I do everything that kind of goes with your Medicare.
Everything possible to save people money on their insurance costs, right?
Yes, because it's horrible.
No, we talk about this. Now let's talk about why people want to deal with you that are 65 years old, because all those people know who Bill Graham is, darn it. Right? Okay? Now, the reason I say that, you were Bill Graham's right-hand person for how long?
Well, I worked for Bill Graham for 10 years, from 1985 to 1995, and I booked and hired all his stagehands, his everything to do with the show, and then his security.
So 85, that's Shoreline.
Shoreline Amphitheater, correct. They sent me down here. I actually started for the production, and when Shoreline started, they shipped me off down there to work down there to get it people down there get it open. So it's really
you must have thought, boy, am I a lucky girl.
I did. Well, growing up, because I grew up in the Bay Area in Sonoma County, and I went to so many Fillmore shows. I thought, you know what, when I grow up, I'm going to go work for Bill. And it was a long process. It took me about, 6 to 8 months of interviews before they actually hired me. It was
how long till you actually got to meet Bill himself? Because he interviewed you at the end, right?
He interviewed me at the end, and he did that at that time. And it got to be a little bit big where he couldn't do that. But when I started working there, got to a certain point,
Or Bill Graham. Or if you could take Bill Graham. How was it meeting him the first time?
Very scary.
I bet.
It was very
He's
scary.
bigger than life.
And it was even, he had, our office was in San Francisco, and he could drive in down below, and he took the elevator up. And it was really funny because it was a big office, but the minute you heard that elevator, everybody was, oh, he's here. It changed the feel of the whole office. You could tell when he was in the building.
Because
really
people really wanted to perform for Bill Graham.
Yes.
Right.
And he was one of the few people, when he started in the Bay Area, he had contracts with all of the different venues, which nobody else did. So anyone that came into San Francisco or Oakland had to go through him, because he had contracts at Oakland Coliseum and all of the, the Greek Theater in Berkeley. So they had to kind of go through him if they wanted to perform there. So he pretty much had it all locked up there.
How awesome.
Yeah.
Now that means that you had to spend some time with the Grateful Dead.
I spent a lot of time working with the Grateful Dead. They were a huge, of course, they were huge there. And their shows tended to be a lot of work because of the security that had to go on, and they were big shows, so you had to get there really early, And
what kind of rider did they have?
It wasn't that bad, actually. They were really pretty laid back. They were a great group. They were really fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I would want you as my insurance person right there, just so I could talk to you about your experiences in the Bay Area music scene.
Thanks.
But for the people who don't care much about that, they just need some insurance, darn it, let's talk about how they get a hold of you.
You can either call me, the best way is call me on my phone. And on my phone I have all of my seminar dates, so it's really a good way to reach me. My phone number is 824-0110. I also have an email address, bernamac@sbcglobal.net. You can reach me either of those ways. And I'm doing a couple seminars this coming month, the rest of October. Two in Caro's Restaurant on the 15th and 23rd, and one at Denny's and Sanger on the 28th.
Okay, the Caro's, which one?
It's the one at 4280 North Blackstone.
Okay. All right. You going to come back and see me?
I am.
I hope so. Bernadine Kirby, very nice to see you.
Thank you.
If you have insurance needs, if you're 65, 64 and 9 months is okay. Yes. Get a hold of Bernadine. She'll get you all hooked up. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I think we got some ice cream in the house.
Oh, yeah.
All right, stick around.